bad and the weird. You either live by the gun or you die by the sword.
Welcome to the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast MicroViews. I'm Nicho.
And I'm Chris.
And we are doing something that I probably hate even more than Twilight right now.
I hate this one too.
We are doing the Twilight parody, Vampires Suck.
I do think this is the first one written and directed by Jason Fredenberg and Aaron Schultz that we've done.
Yes.
They are, parody legends. They've done a lot of these sorts of movies.
A legend is a different... I wouldn't exactly call them legends. They've done a lot of these parody movies, but...
They have. And I think if you like their humor, you've seen most of them.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're like me and have seen like 2 of them.
Yeah, well, they did start off with the first Scary Movie. They were part of the screenwriting crew.
Which is one of the ones I did like. I
Yeah.
liked that one was funny.
And this one ended up being directed by Clyde Geromini, Wilfred Jackson, and Hamilton Luska, starring Jen Proska as Becca Crane.
So creative.
Matt Lantern as Edward Solon.
Hilarious. That one I did like.
Diedrich Badger as Frank Crane.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Riggy as Jacob White.
Hilarious name changes.
Yeah, and if you haven't guessed, this is a spoof of Twilight.
It is. And
it's one of 3 major ones, including Breaking Wind and Taint Light, which I wanted to get to those 2 before this one, but...
This is the main one, though.
Yeah.
Let's be real. This is the one everyone knows.
This was like the beginning of a specific movie parody, not a genre parody like the Scary Movies were.
I agree. And this is where I think I liked their Scary Movie. I thought that was a fun parody. I've seen a couple more. This is obviously, I think, the closest one in a while that I've watched. They're normally not for me.
Yeah, the only one, and it's not by these 2, is the superhero movie, which I've seen.
I've seen,
but I don't remember much of it outside of the couple funny bits. But these guys are more responsible for things like the 2000s to the 2010s, including Meet the Spartans, the Starving Games, Disaster Movie, Epic Movie.
I did watch Starving Games. It's about what you expect, guys.
I got like 10 minutes into Starving Games because my brother who was visiting was like, let's just start something, and we started. He fell asleep, and I'm like, I'm not staying up to watch this bullshit.
I completely agree with that statement. And here's the thing. There is a reason why we picked this, and that's because the humor of this pokes fun at what a lot of the anti-Twilight fans were poking fun of at the time.
And at the same time, like, here's the thing.
But it does it poorly.
Yes, I get the attempt of, like...
I do too.
Trying to do a parody movie of, like, Scary Movie, obviously being heavily influenced by Scream.
Yes.
And also, but then it took a bunch of other staples into the genre and put it together.
Yeah.
My biggest issue with Vampires Suck is that it sticks too heavily to the entire plot line of Twilight.
I agree.
And from there, instead of making fun of it, and making fun of other movies within the genre, because there's so many other vampire movies it could have made fun of.
There's also other like romance dumb teen movies that would have fallen in the same movie.
Yeah, it stuck too heavily to Twilight as the fandom as a whole.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. It only really takes shot at the low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
There's so much about Twilight that you can find humorous. As fans, many people have entire accounts, podcasts, YouTube videos, entire essays dedicated to the dumb and weird shit in Twilight. And they didn't touch on any of it. Yeah,
well, and that's the thing is, like, because the issue is the humor doesn't tie into the movie itself. It's just gags and background stunts that makes it feel more in line with, like, it's the type of humor that I really don't like the Family Guy style of humor.
There's a lot of, I would call grotesque slapstick.
Yes.
Where it's penis jokes for penis jokes. There's
just a bunch of dirty old men.
A lot of dirty old men. And here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. Occasionally, a movie like that will tickle my fancy. I find some of them very humorous.
Yeah, like...
Usually a Mel Brooks film, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, or like in this one specifically, the one gag that I'm like, okay, this kind of works, is the screaming group of teenagers fighting between Team Edward and Team Jacob.
Yeah, like there are some parts that do manage to hit a funny bone because they talk about like what was truly happening at the time. Like you said, the screaming fans, that was a real thing. It annoyed a lot of people. It was a huge part of the fandom for others. Like, But most of the, like, humor that is in here is either not based in Twilight at all. Like, there's a couple of jabs at, like, Tiger Woods or the Black Eyed Peas, which don't have anything to do with this movie series.
So here's the thing, and why this movie I know is 100% going to age poorly.
Oh, yeah, it sure is.
And a bunch of movies like it. Because anytime you make, like, a satirical joke of something that's happening at that time, a lot of times you don't know where that's going to fall out.
Exactly.
So
like, they did not know.
Here's why I was wondering what the relevance of like something like this would even matter in today's age.
Okay.
Because like one, you bring up Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
They bring up the Kardashians, which by the way
they didn't know where the Kardashians were going to land either. This is 2010, right? Like,
yeah,
they only know the basics.
Well, I had just moved back to the States, so I didn't know who the Kardashians were.
Sure.
We didn't know who the Jonas Brothers were when we were moving, because like it's me and my two other brothers, and we're like traveling as unaccompanied minors, and they're like, oh, so like the Jonas Brothers, and we're like, who the fuck are these guys? So like, even in 2010, if you weren't in that scene, you didn't know who they were.
Fact.
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Which would end up being a show that does... They didn't know where this was going. It really should have been a safer joke than that.
Yeah. Simon Pegg leaving American Idol.
Yeah. Meh.
Segways.
Which was funny.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, missed that one.
Chris Brown.
They didn't know.
iCarly.
Which, didn't know about that either.
One Tree Hill.
Yeah, which doesn't matter anymore.
16 and Pregnant.
Yeah, they had no idea how that would implicate.
Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. That didn't age well.
And it took them 45 minutes to even try and bring in, like, Buffy the Vampire as, like...
Which is the obvious gag!
Yeah. Or, like, any of the other vampire movies you could have. I think there was a reference to Lost Boys, but, like, it was so small you kind of forget about it.
And there was no reference to, like, the inadequacies of, like, the actual lore. This was all just jokes put on top of Twilight.
Yeah, something that's
This was someone's
dumb.
Stand-up bit put on top of Twilight.
Yeah, and I don't know what's worse. A movie that can't even do a good job of making fun of Twilight, or making something that's even dumber than the source material.
I would argue that this is unfortunately even dumber than the source material, and I say that because the bar's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I was impressed by how much I hated it. And I don't just hate it because I don't like the humor style. I don't. It's not my type of humor, but usually at least one or two jokes I find funny enough to, like, remember.
Yeah.
Most of this movie was forgettable. The only thing I said to myself while watching was, wow, they did manage to get the look of some of the actors really spot on.
Yeah.
Some of these guys did look quite a bit like our main cast. And then they started to not after a while. And it wasn't even like the gag of, oh, well, the wigs throughout Twilight changed. They didn't even play on that.
No.
They just, like, didn't do it.
Well, because they only had the two movies to go off of, and instead of just parodying the first one, they parodied both of them.
Which didn't work well, because why would you do the first two when you knew there was gonna be more?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you set yourself up to have a whole run of these suckers? Because we know that's what you normally make.
Exactly. And I think probably the reason they did that is maybe they didn't have enough to even make one of them based off the first one.
And I'm going to agree with you, because the runtime of this movie is under 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like 80-something minutes. Maybe not even.
Hour 22. So.
Yeah, barely anything. So yeah, I agree. I don't think they had enough material to only do the first Twilight, which again is wild because, again, the bar's on hell. There's so much that you can make fun of with Twilight. And honestly, I think if they had gone, like, deep dived, really, like, dug into Twilight to find their jokes, they probably would have had actual Twilight fans as fans of this movie. That's why I like Scary Movie, is that they knew the horror material.
Yeah, and I think that's it, is it's... One, and we will be doing another movie mini-series that is a parody, but you can tell that it comes from the heart.
You can tell it came from someone who at least understood the source. Yeah,
whereas this is just a movie that's a bunch of people choosing to make fun of something that's popular instead of, like, Scary Movie, where it took an entire genre. And while, there's some low-hanging fruit,
for the most part, though, they did understand the genre.
Exactly.
They got a lot of the tropes right, at least.
They could play off of the genre. It's like those parody movies where, like, you almost forget they're parody movies, like Spaceballs, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, where it's very much a parody of the redneck slasher movie.
But they do it so well that you don't really notice.
Exactly.
No, I completely agree, and I think part of the reason why I did actually want to, like, talk lightly about this one is because they only hit the low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. This really did like, create the, like, epitome or the most prime example of the divide of Twilight fans and people who hated Twilight with all their guts, despite never having watched Twilight.
Yeah.
Or watched it and then, like, clearly, like, hated it before watching it, and, like, this is the epitome of that. This is a very clear example of how that was represented.
Yeah, well, and instead of just, like, only picking the low-hanging fruit, it's also the mashing of pop culture together. Like, at one point, they throw Lady Gaga in, like, because she's considered I forget that she was considered freaky when she first, like, came out.
She was very artsy for the time, but has nothing to do with the Twilight world, which is incredibly tame.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, the way they bring her in is, like, with the whole wolf pack being gay, and it's just like, okay,
and
like,
it doesn't work. Like, did you watch the movie before you made the joke?
Yeah, no, they didn't. Just, it's a bunch of shirtless men, they have to be gay. It's like some bullshit.
Yeah, clearly did not watch the movie, and I'm not saying to make a parody you must be an expert on it, but I do think it helps.
Yeah, you at least have to understand the source material, like you said.
Because
honestly, yeah, Jacob transforming into a chihuahua.
Hilarious.
Kind of funny.
That was funny. I agree, that was funny. I think we could have gone literally any dog other than wolf, and it would have been humorous.
Exactly.
But that was kind of one of the only ones, and it made it really clear that a lot of the people taking punches at Twilight did not know the source material.
Yeah, they just seemed like they were more annoyed that it was popular.
And honestly, that was a lot of people's reasoning for never being interested in Twilight, was because it was such an easy punching bag at the time that you didn't want to be associated. A lot of people did not admit that they were fans until they were much older.
Depends on who you are. I mean, I met people through the NWA Film Club who are big fans of Twilight.
Oh, so. No, and I'm not saying that this discouraged everyone. Clearly it didn't. We have the footage. But at the same time, being this easy of like you can't even reboot it, because at this point, how do you reboot a movie?
Yeah, well, I mean...
it's one of those things where, like, it's okay to make fun of something that's popular.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do it right.
Or, like, hide that you are a closet nerd about it. Like, my middle brother, huge fucking closet nerd about a lot of things. Not to me, or like, mostly to me, but, like, to the point where, like, he's been working in the tattoo shop he works for like, a couple years now, or been going in. Mm-hmm. They're just finding out that he's a little bit of a nerd.
Yeah. And, like, that's okay. But this is one of those things where you don't have to necessarily know everything about the source material to make fun of it. But when you're taking punches at what was already, like, the lowest hanging fruit without any, like, real innovation to it, it turns out to be one of the worst movies I've watched in a really long time.
It's like why I don't care for Family Guy is, like, there's an overarching plot, but it's full of all these, like, pop culture gags that just don't do it for me. It just feels random and out of place.
I agree.
And I love that South Park made fun of him for it.
I agree. And I will give at least Family Guy the tiniest credit in that at least their writers understand the pop material that they're making fun of.
Yeah.
I might not find the joke funny, but it's well proven enough that their writing team knows the source and the timing right to, like, make those jokes. This one, not only was it bad in 2010 when it came out, the jokes didn't land a lot of time. A lot of the things that they are making fun of are done so poorly and with so little research that now looking back on it, you go, you really didn't think about the implications of including that person in your joke.
Yeah, and that's why it does make me unfortunately want to see Breaking the Wind and Taint Light.
Because maybe they're better. And that sucks because those sound terrible.
Yeah, no, they sound terrible. Fucking awful.
They sound terrible, but yeah, maybe they are more thought through. And I don't even need all of the movie to be thought through. I need, like, 4 jokes to be thought through.
Yeah.
That's the minimum.
Something at least a little simple. Don't just, like, hey, throw the Jacob and Bella together, and then it's the dads fighting in the background, and that's the funny of it.
Yeah, which was almost close to being a joke. Like, that's the thing. Is I'm not even coming at this from a Twilight fan standpoint.
Because you're not a Twilight fan. You keep correcting that. You're not a Twilight fan.
I'm not. I don't watch the movies every year. I
don't have to watch them every year to be a fan. I don't watch E.G. the Killer every year, and I'm still a fan.
Yeah, that's fair. But to be clear, like, I'm not coming at this from a fandom point of view. I'm coming at this from as neutral as I can possibly make myself. I have worked hard to become neutral in the Twilight circle because I find it fascinating. And this is just arguably bad writing.
I'm an educated hater now, so...
Yeah, and that's part of it, is I'm willing to look past different humor styles and, you know, admit that this isn't my humor, but it's for someone. I'm willing to look past, you know, a couple of bad jokes, because not everything's going to land.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anytime you and I have talked about humor like that I find funny and you don't find funny, or you find absolutely hilarious, I'm like, we both get it, but it's just like, it doesn't land.
Exactly, and I'm not even going to say that I am in highbrow humor. I about lost my shit last night listening to a skit that involved the word penis noir. I thought it was hilarious.
That sounds more interesting than... Okay, what is penis noir?
Well, you know about the wine, Pinot Noir.
Yes.
That's the joke.
Okay.
It was a terrible skit, but I thought it was hilarious. And so this only is to prove that my humor level is not well refined. I find many a dumb thing hilarious. I find slapstick humorous at times. A child running into something does tickle my fancy. Yeah. You know, a man being hit in the balls, I will laugh. This movie just wasn't funny 99% of the time.
Yeah, just, I think the issue is it stuck too heavily to the Twilight plot, but it didn't do anything with the drama itself. It just did gags around it.
It should have really expanded their view into, like, the whole monster romance or teen YA drama. And honestly, maybe then it would have been a little bit better, because then we're not, like, pulling punches at only one dude. It maybe would have expanded to just werewolves in general. Maybe, maybe vampires as a whole.
Yeah, I get you.
But no, that's not what they did. They chose this, and I hate them for it. I hate that I had to watch this again. I know I'd already seen it once, because
you're educated, neutral Twilight fandom.
I am. I'd seen it before. I don't think I saw it when it came out. I think I watched it way later.
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't see any of the Twilight until you were older college, so, like, we're talking another 4 years after this.
I believe so. So, like, I watched this. I've watched it again. I hope I never have to remember this.
So then, Chris, read by streamer, declined that we ever watched Vampire Sucks, despite having an audio recording of us watching it.
I contemplated hitting my head against the wall until I forgot about this movie, but then I might have accidentally watched it again. So I hope that maybe with time and dementia, I forget and never have to experience any of this ever again.
Yeah, I'm in the decline. It's not worth your time.
It's really not, and I don't even know who possibly would find this humorous. Good luck.
12-year-old me, maybe.
Ah, man. I had bad humor at 12, but I don't know if even this would have gotten me.
Yeah, but at least you are done with the bad professional parodies for now.
On to the bad fan parodies.
Yeah, which we have one planned out that, while incomplete, I do think it carries the torch of what we would want from a Twilight parody.
Absolutely. That one I am looking forward to.
Yeah, so get ready for more Twilight with a new moon.
Yay! Continuing our season.
Yeah.
Hang in there. There's only a handful more.
It's not just a handful, it's like a dozen more still, Chris.
There's so much, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But anywho, this has been the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast, MicroViews.
Thanks for listening.
Peace. Thank you for stopping by this here town of the Good, the Bad, and the Weird. We appreciate your listenership, and if you want more of our takes in your life, feel free to check us out on social media at the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast, or TGTBTW for short. As well, if we missed a fact, your favorite part of a movie, or just have a suggestion and want to reach out and say howdy, feel free to email us at tgtbtwpodcast@gmail.com. And feel free to join our Discord at The Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast, where we talk about movies, just share random banter here and there. And always, check out our podcasters, streamers, or any other content creator we shout out in our episodes. We really appreciate it. And as always, thank you for listening. Peace.